Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Friday, October 9th, 2020, 10 a.m. Central, in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. What a lovely day. Good morning, Henry Arbonage. How are you? Well, it's Friday. Did you know that? And on Friday, it's Building Adventures Day. We've got a nifty, just released this week, Dyson Logos map, and we're going to take a look at that and talk about what we can do with it. Good times, baby. Good times. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, look at that. I think that's too bright. I think we got to tone that down a little bit so I don't look like a pasty-faced wargamer. Speaking of which, I'm going to see a few of my wargaming friends attempting to do Autumn Wars. Not to be confused with Autumn Revel. So, some of the Historical Miniatures Gaming Society Midwest folk are pushing ahead to do an Autumn Wars convention at the Grand Geneva. They have a slate of events taking them from Friday evening on through Sunday. They 36 something odd events. They probably have somewhere in or around 80 people that have bought badges. I bought one. I want to support them. I fully expected it would probably get scuttled before it actually got off the ground because of the way things are going in the world. Even with the 25% bar and restaurant restriction that they just put in as of 8 a.m. yesterday in Wisconsin, that doesn't affect private events. So they're still going. I held off to pick up a badge until a couple of days ago, and my badge number was 77, which gives me some idea. Hey, George, gives me some idea of what how many people have bought badges. That doesn't mean there won't be a bunch of people just showing up and picking up stuff at the door. Certainly, there are staff who maybe have a separate badge situation going on, who don't have to purchase one through that system. Um, so they are probably not included in that number, which is why I say 80 or thereabouts, even though mine is 77. Of course, this weekend is also Autumn Revel, which is the virtual online GaryCon offshoot. Luke wanted to start up something called Autumn Revel, a sort of a more intimate RPGing event to take place opposite side of the calendar from GaryCon. He didn't want to step on Greyhawk's virtual toes, Greyhawk Con's virtual toes last weekend. So when he said it for this weekend, which also happens to be Autumn Wars. I don't think there's a lot of crossover. Obviously, I am part of a small sliver on a Venn diagram of people who would fully support an RPG thing. In fact, I'm running a couple of games and playing in a couple. Saturday and Sunday, the OK Grognard show will be set up seminar style to run as a seminar on the schedule. So I'm getting my 12 DMing hours in. If you tuned in yesterday, you saw my shirt. I got my Autumn Revel shirt in the mail. I'll pick up an Autumn Wars shirt if they have some on site. Like I said, I bought a badge. I'll be popping back and forth over there, but with my schedule for Autumn Revel, I won't be able to participate in any Autumn Wars scheduled events. But it doesn't mean I can't pop over, keep a mask on, take some pics like I do. You know me, if you know me at all, as somebody who takes a lot of pictures at conventions and enjoys the spectacle of, speaking of spectacles, I think I'll clean mine. The spectacle of the tabletop, especially war games. Uh, I love I love having tons of pictures of terrain and miniatures, and it's always been a fascination for me to be part of this hobby when it comes to a beautifully laid table. And some of these guys, these HMGS guys, Kevin Kabai and Steve Fratt, and many others, just the kings of making a table look good for a war game. So I do not expect any less from Autumn Wars. Next year, I understand that Luke is intending to move Autumn Revel into September. I don't know if he'll go so far as to make it early, like a Labor Day thing around Ernie's birthday. Excuse me. Um, that's, of course, Ernie Gygax's Day, September 2nd. Mark your calendars. But I have a feeling he'll do it later in September, away from the holiday, just to not step on any back to school toes and the like. And, people have their own plans for Labor Day. It's a cookout day, weekend, it's a family thing. And, well, there's a lot of family stuff that gets tied into gaming. Not everybody comes from a gaming family, and you don't want to put people in a position where they have to make the choice between, am I going to enjoy one of these holiday weekends with my family? And I'm talking U.S. stuff here, right? Obviously, Labor Day is not a holiday else outside of the U.S., but the event's going to take place in the U.S., so the choice is going to be between spending time with family for Labor Day or gaming for a weekend for some people, and I don't think he wants to put anybody in that position either. So, plus, if you got to travel for this thing, it's probably more expensive to try to travel and get lodgings and all that stuff for over a holiday weekend when they're at a premium. So hopefully we can also convince, since Virtual Greyhawk Con is firmly now set as the first full weekend of October, then Autumn Revel, if it's in late September, won't be conflicting. And if we can make sure, and I'll mention it to the guys when I see them in Autumn Wars later this weekend, if we can convince them not to schedule future years on the same weekend as Greyhawk Con, then heck, that'd be a great fall, right? Autumn Revel, we'll get Virtual Greyhawk Con, we'll get Autumn Wars, and then of course early November we'll have Gamehole Con. Gaming. Oh, it's such fun. Gotta love it, right? Hey, but what are we doing today? We're pretty far in, and I've hardly said anything about this wonderful map up here. Recently released, as you can see, it's a Dyson Logos map. He dropped this week. Something new he's been doing the last couple of weeks is to put out a map with both grid and non-grid versions, but also with this parchment background. So if you wanted to use this in a product, because the only maps I use are the commercial ones, the ones that he has released under Creative Commons for commercial use. So if you see anything I'm using on a show or anything that I put out, it'll be under the commercial license. So rest assured that if you wanted to do that, say you want to pop over, this one was just released, pop over to his site and check out this map, by all means, you can do so, and you can do so assured in the knowledge that you could use it as a for a product if you want to, whether it's for pay or for whatever. It's it's distributable. Just include the proper text. That'll all be on there. Make sure the map has the some identifier as the Dyson Logos. I support them on Patreon. That doesn't mean you have to use them, but why not, right? Guy puts out a lot of stuff. Lexfire mentions, George says, I suspect as more cons open up to virtual due to COVID, there will be new cons that are only virtual as players and DMs become more proficient. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And in fact, I think I asked Jay Scott, Lord Gosumba, where he was planning on having Greyhawk Con next year, assuming that by next September we'll be beyond the other side of this pandemic. And my assumption was that this was virtual this year because it couldn't be elsewise. But he said no, Greyhawk Con will always be a virtual con. He wants to continue to do it virtually. He wants to, and this is wonderful, right? Because if you've seen his setup on his Twitch channel when he runs games, he has several cameras on little tripods, and he uses a full, beautiful table, lots of terrain, beautifully painted minis by his gang, and created some bought and painted and fixed up terrain pieces, but some built from scratch that are just amazing. So be sure to subscribe to or follow the Lord Gosumba Twitch channel and check out some of his stuff over there. But so he would either have to have it in his area just to be able to transport stuff in a vehicle to a convention from his home, so much stuff, or he would have to drive across country if, let's say, he wanted to have it at the Ridge here in Lake Geneva every year. That would be an incredible expense for him, and so much easier just to continue to do it virtually. So that's his plan. Hey, I'm going to switch screens over to this one. Boom. Look at that, huh? Big old thing. And then I'm going to put myself down in the corner because I'm cool like that. Let me just make a slight adjustment. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to smallify myself just a little bit more. Indeed, get myself out of the picture. So this is a little easier to see. Plus, I don't know if you can see the pointer. It'll be hard to see, but I don't want to screw around with making it bigger and smaller again. Look at the far right middle of the map. You see that there is a stairway going down into this dungeon. So this is, by all accounts, the main entrance to this dungeon. What a cool room. Just this opening room. When he drew this, he was doing this on Twitch a week and a half, a couple of weeks ago. He's putting it together. And when he put this little squiggly thing in the pool behind, on the far left of this big opening room, it just looks so cool to me. Just a kind of a bizarre sort of, I don't know, you could use it as some sort of trans-dimensional portal. You could just say it's a crazy looking, I don't know, pool of some sort of magical liquid filled with slime. You could put whatever you want in there, right? We've got some pillars down the center of the room, and in all the four corners, we've got some statues. These stars generally denote statues in the alcoves to the north. And I'm going up is north. He doesn't have anything on here, so people can do what they want with it as far as directionality. He has it numbered. that may dictate some people's or influence some people's idea of what north is. And I like north to be up on my map, so there you go. Skull and Pants. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Notice one of the statues to the south end of that room is destroyed. It's pretty cool. Just gives it a little more flavor. We got a couple of doors on the north and the south going out of here. Notice, well, let's follow the numbers. Go to the south. You got a couple of alcoves, and one of them has a little box or something in it. Another door goes into a room with a staircase, both going down. And basically, we've got a mirror on the north side, too. But notice there's a statue in the alcove to the north, up by number 11. And there's a secret door behind it. And this whole section, it's got just one ladder rung. So that goes down a little bit, and another ladder rung, and another ladder rung. So it's just little bits. Just a little down, little down, little down, because that takes care of, by number 11, there's that stairway down. So that covers us for being lower down when we get to number 13. Notice another secret door. So this whole section to the north, all secret. All very, very secret. Also, judging by 17B, one would have to suggest that these are graves, sarcophagi, coffins, something of that ilk. Maybe just huge boxes, but the shape of them and size of them suggest there are bodies to be found in there, and where there are bodies, there is often treasure. So putting it behind some secret doors means that not just anybody could have come in here and cleared them out. The center one kind of denotes that by having it slightly open. So maybe somebody has been in here, or maybe whatever was in there has gotten out. Let's not discount that possibility. I want to back up to 11 and then over to 12 on the right there. Notice we've got 6 alcoves, 5 of which also have what are probably coffins in them. And at the far end, a sort of a little shrine, perhaps. Some sort of little devotional thing. Or it is possibly an interview desk. Look, we've got a chair behind it. Got a couple of stools out in front of it. So maybe this is where you go to be interviewed to work at this complex. Nah, probably not. So probably a little shrine of some sort, right? A little statue behind an altar and a couple of small braziers or candle holders or something like that. Could be anything. Notice the little alcoves, 1, 2, 3, or 4 on either side of the 12. Several have little things in them. Once again, I would probably put some candle holders or something like that in there. They don't necessarily have to have candles or burning candles if it's not an active location. But certainly at some point, somebody coming in and out of here might have needed some light. But what happened to this coffin in the bottom right of 12? We don't know. Well, let's pop back over to 3. Again, alcove, no statue on this side, so it's not a complete mirror of 11. If we switch over, slide over to the right, bottom right for 4, I like how this room has the corners cut off on it. It makes it not just another square room, right? We got a couple alcoves to the south, maybe again for candles, cut off corners on the north, northeast, and northwest. We got those double doors going to 4A. George says the water or pool can suggest a water, river, lake deity. You can carry the water, no pun theme, throughout on doors and pillars. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, having decorative touches on all of the pillars and doors and other things within this complex to unify whatever theme you've decided you're going to impose upon this map, this entire location, is a great idea. And just merely putting a little sentence, descriptive sentence, in each for each location that includes something about that theme, so that you drive home that it's all around, helps make the entire adventure more immersive for the players, because they're constantly being reminded that you are in someone else's house, my friend. You're in the temple, the shrine, the for the cult of the water god, or something like that. And this is good to constantly have those reminders. I like the shape of the room in 4A in the lower right. Again, it's not strictly a rectangular or square room. We've got what could be a this could be a quarters for some uppity up, right? I mean, there could be a big four-poster bed down in there. It's a little close to the entrance and a little less guarded, but I don't see a lot of other places in here where one could expect to have any sort of quarters that are protected. So I would say, hey, whoever's in charge of this place, maybe that's their main location. Maybe nobody actually stays on site. Maybe this is a place for worship, and there are outbuildings up and outside where staff or people that tend to the place would have stayed back in the day when it was active, or stay now because it is active, and maybe they don't stay within the complex itself. You don't need to have guard rooms and housing within a temple structure. It can be set off to the side, so you just do that. Let's go to 5. We got a nice squared room, but again, corners chopped off, nicely arranged in a way that makes it not cookie cutter, right? We've got those little boxes or some sort of feature in each of those clipped corners. It's like a Hex and Chit wargame chit with the corners clipped, right? Very popular to do. Notice this passage to the north. Although we've already gone down here, right, off of 3, and down lower, when we go down to 6, we're going down and down again. This is interesting. Okay, now this is the first I'm noticing this, because that passage to the north of 5 has those nice little alcoves with some things going on, and we can deal with that too. Then has stairs going up. So this suggests that 15 is above, and we've got an interesting alcove on the far end of it. But notice this on the south end of 15 and the north end of 15, those lines suggest that this is a sort of an elevated gallery or room that has balconies that look down over 13, and I love that design on the ground on 13. It suggests some sort of magical rituals happen there, or perhaps that is some sort of a map that divines the stars, a sort of a compass, if you will. Henry Armitage says, when I make maps like this or look at them, I always think, man, they must have loved tunneling out corridors. So true, right? Now you can, when you make allowances for that sort of thing, you can certainly say that what's actually going on is that they're taking paths of least resistance when they tunnel out these things. For the most part, they're digging out these places or constructing these places based on where there are fissures or other things. So sometimes form follows function, or vice versa. Yeah, form follows function. Look at 7. So now we've got, on 6, we've got the down, alcoves and down. And then we've got the room number 7 has those pillars along it. And that's all below 15. That's interesting. We've got a door going to 8. And then ladder rungs going down again. In this room down in 9, certainly those are benches and an altar. And we've got some things outside on 9 there that suggest that this is a room for worship. Certainly at least a meeting room. Interesting that this is a rough cut area. 8 and the hallways coming off of it with the ladder rungs. Notice the ladder rungs going down again. And then a secret door at the back of this temple with a large statue, and perhaps those smaller stars are meant to be braziers or smaller statues. And then this stairway that goes down into this squiggly, whatever this substance is, and stairways out on the other side. It's almost like a sort of a baptismal font of some sort where devotees are washed in the fluids of whatever that is. Notice 14 also too. 1, 2, 3. Probably coffins again, with boxes or offering tables opposite them. There's a stairway down between 13 and 16. And I think that just about covers every location in here. Notice the little curtains on either side in the alcoves on 13. This one on the left covering the door that gets you to 14. So we'd have to look at that as a concealed door, right? Rather than a secret door. But we've got 3 secret doors in the place, so this place is not without its secrets. Obviously, you can get to and from either side of the secret door that leads into 16 in the center of the left-hand side of the map. You can get to either one from the front room without having to get through another secret door, so I don't know, maybe you want to change around that door at number 8 and make that door secret as well, so this whole section in the lower left-hand side is secret. Don't forget, you can modify his maps. Obviously, he's got a purpose for them for himself, or has some idea of how he would use it if he were to use it. So when he designs it, there's a certain logic to it. That doesn't mean that you can't see it differently and can't make some changes to it and make it your own, right? Everything we've said here, some of it I have no doubt would be similar to what was in his mind as he was creating it and how he perceived it would be used. Nevertheless, I also have no doubt that some of what I'm discussing here and some of what people are thinking of when they see this wouldn't have occurred to him. It's just the nature of seeing something with a pair of fresh eyes. So there we go. Isn't that something? I think we've had a good look at this now. And I think what we'll do is we will finish up for the day and say thank you very much. I think my first dungeon was mostly hallways. Haha, says Bob. Yeah, about that, right? It's when we look back at some of the early maps, some of the early gaming we did back in the day, there's no doubt that we would have done things differently with experience, but that's okay. They're still all fun. Hey, I want to thank everybody who's following the channel. If you are seeing us, visiting us on the Twitch stream, please do follow the channel. And do yourself a favor and give us a hello in the stream chat, because we keep track of everybody who visits us and everybody who's follower, who we can be sure is not a bot, and keep them on a list, and we do a weekly giveaway. Just a thank you for people that follow and chime in on the stream chat. Also, come back and see us tomorrow because we got stuff going on then. 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be doing GM reviews and rules retrospective at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Those will be longer shows, probably out to about an hour, with the idea that those count as seminars for Autumn Revel. And they'll be fun. We'll have some interesting stuff to discuss. I also want to say 10 a.m. tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, every day. And on Monday, we'll be back to weekly news and announcements. We'll do cartography and world building on Tuesday. Campaign discussion on Wednesday. GMing tips on Thursday. Back around the horn to building adventures next Friday. Because we're here today, tomorrow, every day for the OK Grognard Show. From beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, make a comment if you got some constructive criticism to share and help us make the show better. I do appreciate it. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.